Right?
Bombs.
So the universe cannot possibly come from nothing. As from nothing comes from nothing. We are an agent of creation, right? We're creating
Yeah.
all the time.
You can literally just push it away and say, I don't like this thought. That thought is not very supportive.
Love, that's the thing.
It's like a must in a train. But we do have a control over how we perceive things, and what we choose for ourselves, the environment shifts. But it always starts with you to radiate more love and light into the world. You are making a hell of an impact.
I believe that there is good in the whole.
Every soul carries light.
How much do you allow in? Right?
Yeah.
Whatever we're doing in life, it's just a role that we're playing right in this incarnation. But our true purpose, our true reason for being here, is to learn all about love. Hello.
Hi.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the 4th episode of the Spirituality is Fun podcast with myself, Graeme, and Iris.
Hi.
So we're doing things a wee bit different today. Role reversal, right? Role reversal. I'm kicking off the podcast for a change, and do you know? I just wanted to say a big thank you again to everybody that's listening in and everybody that's taking time. Just even if it's one of the shorts that are going out, just say a massive thank you. And we also encourage you to kind of interact with us as well, because I think we both respond well to things that are brought to us, right? We're responders in nature.
Yeah, our
So,
human design.
yeah, exactly. That's we kind of wait to respond to something. So if anybody is out there, if there's anything that we're talking about either resonates or it actually that you've got questions on, or even if you have a different view on things, that's most encouraged, because this is healthy. Like the more we talk about these, bring these their spirituality, our life, our experiences out, the better it is for everybody, right? So yeah.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
no,
Sorry.
you go.
So because it also broadens our spectrum, and like we love questions. If you have any questions, please do let us know. And also like share your own experiences. I'd really love to hear those as well.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, I'm curious to hear what everybody else's experiences are as well, and what stage that everybody's at on the
Mhm.
journey. Have you started your journey? Is it, have you not started your journey? Has something just piquing your interest at the minute? Are you further down? Are you further on than us? It's those kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just super curious to hear everybody's experiences. So today's we're going to talk about. So Ira's got some guidance last week for us to talk about the divine.
That's all I got. It's like
It's all I got,
talk
right?
about the divine. I was like, okay.
And I think it's probably fair to say that we both shat ourselves, right? We both went, ah, what? We're like, that's because it's such a vast topic, right? It's such a vast topic, and we could go all sorts of places with this.
Mm.
We could be talking, we could talk about this for the rest of the day, and then probably the rest of our lives, actually.
We'll see where
So
it takes us today.
yeah, let's see where it takes us. We've both. I feel as if I got kind of guided this week into reading more into my esoteric studies and into my spiritual studies. I feel as if I got a little bit deeper. They've probably kind of went to the side for me a little bit, just with various different things I've been doing. But I've kind of re-engaged in that in the last week, and I found I found a difference, and I feel like there's things that were coming up that I felt as if we had to talk about in the podcast, or at least it would prompt us to kind of go into something a little bit deeper, right? So I'm going to kick off with just something. I wrote this down, right? So I'm going to read from. I did take notes.
All right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're not completely freestyling this week. We're not completely freestyling this week. Um, we're just going to. I'm just going to read from the notes I wrote down because it's sometimes I read these things and I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing synchronicity, and there's amazing there's different things connected and this, that, and the next thing. And let's see how we both respond to this. All
Yeah.
right.
I'm so curious to hear. I have no idea
Right.
what you're about to say.
That's the best way. That's the best way. Right. So how it goes is God, when there was nothing in existence save himself, gave utterance to his name in sound, not other than in three rays, and with the sounding of the word, all the worlds and all living beings simultaneously sprang into existence, all sounding the name of God as a soft undertone. So we say the name God. I know there's various different spiritual practices out there, but let's kind of just, we're not saying from a religious point of view, we're just more from a universal creative point of
The
view. From
creator, source, the
yeah,
that
yeah,
energy.
just to
Yeah.
be very
Yeah.
very clear for everybody. Um, the sound and voice was the sweetest and most melodious overheard in music, and one with the sound and the voice appeared light, and in the light appeared form. The name was uttered in three voices or in three sounds in unison. And I'll come on to this a little bit in a minute, but the number three comes up.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we've got three layers of light. So this is from so my bard training with the Order of Bards, Ovids, and Druids, right? So if you see the symbol for the bad old bads, it's three dots. You'll see three dots, and there's
Hmm.
three rays of light come out. So the number three, and what I found that was kind of stood out for me from there was how sound came out first. Like it was the
Oh
sound,
my
right?
goodness, the word.
The sound, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah. Yeah.
there was in music, and there was yeah, it was the vibration of music of sound that kind of came out first, right? Okay. So the name was uttered in three voices, number three again, or in three sounds in unison. The form was also threefold in manifestation and in the color of light, and one with expression of form and color and sound were the first three rays of the first three letters. So there's all that kind of we had sound, light, and then we had letters. Then we had the beginning of language, right?
Mhm.
So again, just keep the number three in mind. So then I went on and there's some more esoteric studies I'm doing, and this time it was talking about the Kabbalah.
Mhm.
If you're familiar with the Kabbalah, so in Kabbalah, and you know, interesting in Kabbalah, it means to receive. That's nice.
Ah, that's
To
interesting.
receive,
Yeah.
yeah, to receive. And Kabbalah, so in Kabbalah, there's 10 Sephiroth. It's called 10 Sephiroth. So you imagine like the tree of life, right? There's there's the tree of life, and there's 10 Sephiroth within the tree of life. And that kind of builds up, it's almost like our level of consciousness.
What is a Severus?
Sephiroth is like a level of consciousness. It's sort of uh, you- like how it's pictured is like a circle, right? And it's, you can
Hmm.
imagine like the tree of life.
Oh, and they're called Severus, and they're different levels of consciousness.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the first three are Sephiroth 1, 2, and 3 are considered to be a unity. So it goes 1, 2, 3 at the top, and then there's various different Sephiroth. Um, at the bottom, which I didn't go into detail on that because the topic of Tree of Life and Sephiroth in Kabbalah is humongous. It's absolutely humongous. So let's try and keep it as narrow and as focused as we possibly
Rein
can.
it in a bit.
Oh yeah, rein it in a bit, yeah. Um, so a trinity acting in unison. So yeah, so Sephiroth 1, 2, and 3 are considered to be a unity, a trinity acting in unison. Collectively, this trinity is sometimes called the deity or the first cause, right? So the first cause is different to the absolute God. True God is referred to as the Ein Sof. So it's almost saying that there's at the top of the tree, the first cause is 1, 2, and 3, numbers 2 and 2 and 3. But there's an overarching absolute God, and on top of that, one. Well, if we go back to what the Obads were saying, when there was nothing in existence. So it's almost like this overarching God, and it's interesting that in the Kabbalah, it's actually when you see it, there's actually 3 lines of this overarching God over the tree of life, and
Mhm.
it's what they refer to as Ein Sof. So Ein Sof is indicated above, as I just said, indicated above the Sephiroth 1, 2, and 3, and is symbolized by 3 curved lines. So again, the number 3
Yeah.
come up again, right? So, and this kind of links into what I was just saying about what the Obads were saying. He is called the no thing because there is nothing we can know about him.
Oh my goodness, that's oh, I got
Yeah.
goosebumps. I got goosebumps.
So
Yeah.
the universe cannot possibly come from nothing, as from nothing comes from nothing. All right. The universe is the result of an operation performed by the emanated agents of Ensof. So it's basically saying the agents well, that's the kind of thing, but the agents, and I kind of thought, well, who are the agents? I thought, well, it's us.
Hmm.
It's us, and we are an agent of creation, right? We're
Hmm.
creating
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Every time we're doing something different, we're changing something. And we've talked a lot about in the podcast about changing our emotions, changing our feelings, changing our approach to life, changing our approach to people. That is by definition creating. We're creating something new. We're creating a
Yeah.
new experience, right?
Yeah. And for our words and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Our actions, our intention, right?
Yeah.
And as I kind of thing, we talk about being alignment, intention plus attention equals alignment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So within what's really fascinating me is that the pattern of the numbers 3, 7, and 12 within the Kabbalah, and then 3, 7, and 12 they all add up to 22, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 22, and there's 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's interesting. 22 is also known as the master builder number in numerology.
Yeah.
If anybody's ever studied in numerology, 22 is a master builder number. This is the builder of the foundations of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, so, and just to kind of go back to the 3 element again, so 3, 7, and 12. So we've got 3 elements: fire, air, and water. All right. And each of those elements are linked to a letter in the Hebrew alphabet. We've got air, which is Aleph, Mem, which is water, and Shin, which is fire. Right. And then we have 7 letters. So there's, as I said, there's 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet. There's 3 what they call mother letters, and that's Elf, Mem, and Shin, linked to the 3 elements. And then we have 7 double letters. And the 7 double, they're called, the reason called the double letters is because they can sound both hard and soft at the same time. So it's like they're almost like polar opposites. They're like peace and war, wealth and poverty.
So,
That
so the one letter represents both sides.
yes,
That's so
yes,
interesting
yes,
because there is like a polarity to everything. Like
Yes.
you always have both sides, and you can always choose where you position yourself on that,
Exactly.
like, right?
Exactly. So exactly. So
Yeah,
there's only one energy, right?
yeah,
And then you get to choose which experience you have from that.
yeah,
Is
yeah,
it war? Is it peace? Is it wealth? Is it poverty? And that's kind of comes back to what we've talked about in the last few episodes, is about having choices.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you
Yeah.
choose where you are on that,
You have
like,
a choice because
yeah.
you're in poverty, or if you're in perceived poverty, that doesn't mean to say that you are, that's it's almost like there is a choice there, I feel.
There's
There
a
is a
choice what you feel and what you choose to embody.
yes.
So there is, you're given with, you when you're born, you're given with a set of like outer circumstances that
Mm.
are how, well, if we go further back, even that is your choice because your soul would have chosen to incarnate in a certain setting.
Correct.
But once you incarnated and you kind of, you don't have control over that anymore, right? You're like,
Mm.
okay, this is what it
You're
is.
here. You know, this is it. This is my
And then it really is what you make of it. And I know, some people get born into very horrifying circumstances. And it's like, I mean, we have
absolutely.
so much war at the moment, all that stuff, right? Like there's so much suffering.
Yeah.
And it's obviously we don't want that, right? We wanna come to a state where we transcend all of that, where we don't have to fight and all that stuff. We wanna
Right.
like that's what my heart wants, right?
Yeah.
And also, I know from my own experience, when you're in this state of suffering, like, and feel like you're victim of your outside circumstances, you still have a choice how you hold yourself in that situation, what decisions you make, what you choose to believe for yourself. And not saying that's always easy, but even in those situations, you still have a choice how you choose to perceive the world, how you choose, like the thoughts you choose, right? We can
Yeah,
choose our
exactly. Yeah.
thoughts.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. You
if
choose
you
your
don't
thoughts.
like his thought, you can literally just push it away and
Yeah.
say, I don't like that thought. That thought is not very supportive for the quality of my life. I'm
Yeah.
using a different thought. Like, we have a lot of choice. It's just often we forget that we do. And we kind of get caught up in like the carousel in the head, right? And like
Yeah.
just getting carried away. But if we get back kind of to ourselves, be present and kind of catch ourselves and be like, well, actually, I'm choosing to experience it differently. Even if the outside world is showing me all this stuff, I'm saying no to this, I'm rejecting this, I'm choosing to experience something differently. And then actually your brain responds, and then all of a sudden you start to notice more positive things. You start to notice things that support your new beliefs and choices and thoughts.
Well, that's that, and it's very key to underline is removing yourself from being the victim of circumstance,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of willpower, and depending on the circumstance.
It does at first, that's
Mm.
my experience with this whole journey. Yes, it took me a lot of willpower first to overcome this, to kind of, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But now I'm in a state is quite flowy and breezy, and I'm just making a different choice.
just
But like it
interconnected.
took a while for me to get to that state. I
Yeah,
did need willpower first. It's actually an interesting question if we do need willpower or if through surrendering, well, but even
well,
choosing to
well,
surrender
that's it.
might take some willpower first.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah,
It's like a muscle. It's like a
exactly.
muscle you train.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think is I guess it's surrendering. It's surrendering to the higher power, right?
Mhm.
It's surrendering and believing. Do you have to believe? Oh, do you have to believe that there's a higher power?
No,
I,
you don't.
no, you just,
It
no, I
sometimes
don't.
makes it easier
Yeah,
because you can be like, I know I'm loved, you know,
that's it.
by source. And so, but yeah, the surrender makes it easy because then you don't fight things you you can't have control over. Like,
Yeah,
for example, being with, I don't know, abusive people or something, like something we never have control over other people's behaviors.
yeah,
And like basically our environment, but we do have a control over how we perceive things and what we choose for ourselves. And
It's,
then
yeah,
when according to what we choose for ourselves, the environment then shifts, but it always starts with you.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? And I mean, you may have mentioned it. I mean, you may have mentioned in a previous podcast about how just changing yourself, you've noticed like changes in people around about you.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and how you are, then it starts to reflect on other people, and other people then start to have different experiences because they see you, and having a different experience. And
Yeah.
I think that's kind of underlines for me just how powerful we are as individuals.
Hmm.
Just by changing ourselves rather than waiting for someone else or waiting for divine timing, as we
Yeah.
talked about
Yeah. In the
previously.
last one. Yeah.
Yeah, we thought we'll just wait. We'll just wait for things to happen. They'll work out. No, no, you've we've got to kind of realize that we are creating everything, every word that comes out my mouth, every word that comes out your mouth, yours, and every word that comes out everybody else's mouth is is creating something.
Yeah.
The
Exactly.
sound or vibration of
Every
our
thought.
voice.
Exactly.
You were
Yeah. It's a
talking earlier
vibration.
what the paragraph I read out at the beginning. The sound of the vibration of our voice. It projects out the way. It
Yeah.
projects out into the universe. You're either polluting that universe or you're you're bringing out light.
Exactly. And that's actually what I also wanted to say. Like, just like violence creates more violence and anger creates more anger, love creates more love. Like, it works both ways. And
Uh,
there's a lot of power we all have in that by by choosing to radiate more love and light into the world, you are making a hell of an impact. And yes, you can't control how other people are and how the world around you is, but just by being the way you are, it's gonna have an impact anyway.
do you know? I'm remembering there was a story, there's a little story, and I remember when I was smaller. When was a wee lad in Scotland. Was a wee lad in Scotland. Um, there was I was in we've got I don't know again people maybe listening in various different countries or whatever, but when we were younger, I was younger. We had what we call primary schools,
Hmm.
right? So from the age of six, five, six upwards until 11 is primary school. And in the primary school, there were certain boys in the primary school that are within my class that kind of caused a lot of problems. They had a lot of problems at home, right? But they were quite disruptive in class and fights all the time and all the rest of it, and you know caused a lot of havoc. But I always find it. I was back then. I always got put when we went in class outings. I always got put with one of them, right? I got paired up with one of them. I can never understand why. I was like, what am I paired up with you? And it's so I just kind of I look back and I never had any problems with any of them, and that's not to say that I was anything special. I'm not painting myself as being special in any sort of way, but I felt as if we can balance just the way that I was and just the way his experience was. There was almost a kind of balance. There was almost a kind
Yeah.
of the balance was because I was quieter. I was not as loud. As I say, I've maybe said a wee bit. I was softer, tall. I'm tall. I've got presence, but I'm kind of I'm soft inside.
Gentle.
I'm gentle, so I'm not as soft as in like people trample over me. As soft as in I like to see the good in people, right? I believe that there is good in all of us. Anyway,
Hmm.
so this is how we were, and the interesting thing is that. when we got to the higher school, I ran into one or two people that were causing me one or two problems, and it was one of those where it was like, right, we'll see you after school, that, those kind of things. And I'm not a violent person. That's, well, certainly not outside the home. I was. My brothers and I we had a bit of a rumble and tumble and things, but outside I just wasn't interested. And but anyway, I ran into one or two people, and I remember as I was walking up from, so we're in high school, we're walking home, and this the lad I was talking about, the one I got paired with when I was in primary school, and he went on to he was going fights, and was expelled from school, and this, that, and that. He got into drugs and this, that, and the next thing. But he stood at the top of this road where we walked up, and these people were starting to walk towards me, the ones that ran into it, and then all of a sudden he came flying out of nowhere, and he was just like, back off him, like, just, he was protecting me.
Wow.
He was He's like, he was. I mean, people knew who he was. He had a reputation, right? He had a reputation. He had a reputation as someone that would cause a lot. You could cause a lot of damage to you.
Mm-hmm.
But in that moment, I just felt so protected, and there was like, and he was like, "No, Graham, I've got you, I've got you, I've got you."
Wow.
And I kind of, it's quite often I think back now. It's like that kind of, I didn't realize that at the time, but that kind of interaction that we had, um, and it wasn't somebody I kind of hung about with at school or anything. I probably didn't try to want to avoid him at school,
Yeah.
but there was on some level we connected at some sort of level, and he recognized something in me, and I recognized something in him. We were having two
Wow.
different experiences,
Yeah.
and there was this protection. People talk about like the guardian angels and things, and I mean, he had a whole load of problems, and I'm not quite sure if he's even still alive today.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the more stories I've heard is that he's just continued on that path, unfortunately, and he was just someone that had a whole lot of issues at home, and um, beatings and all that, horrible, real horrible. But there he was as a shining light.
Yeah. And you know what, Graham? Because that's like you said, like the polar opposites. And in that moment, because he was like violent and like but strong, like he could like rough you
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
And in that moment, he decided to use this to protect you. So you have roughening up people and then protecting people is on the same sliding scale. And in that
yeah,
moment, he made a choice to protect you. Isn't
yeah.
it beautiful?
Isn't it? Isn't it just?
And there is good in everybody. There is good in all people. And
Mhm.
sometimes we see it coming out, even if you think like, oh my goodness, it's like
I mean, it's hard to imagine somebody like him that is. I mean, a lot of people say, well, how can be any good? And I mean, as I say, he with drugs, and he got lifted by the police by so many times, and he would end up in jail, and he broke into people's houses, and this, that, and the next thing. And it was just to feed the drug habit, basically.
Mhm.
But there, in that moment, you could see that there's something there. There was something very protective. It was sort of very protective, and wherever he is, I have so much gratitude and thanks, and it kind of wakens me up a little bit as well. Is we would not to cast judgment
Yeah.
on others that are in certain circumstances.
Usually we don't know what other people go through or have been going through.
No, no,
And I heard, who was that? Somebody said it, and I thought it's always true for me. Like, if you would be born in that person's situation, like as that person in exactly the same situation with all the same things happening to you, you probably would make the same decisions.
Yeah.
you know?
Mm.
And I think that just creates and allows a lot of place for like empathy.
It
And
does. It
and
does.
I think also, well, first of all, your teacher certainly knew what they were doing because they must
Oh,
have been very observative because they noticed that he would be probably calmer around you.
yeah.
And you have all this love and gentleness. It doesn't really bother, I think, you. I mean, I don't know
No.
if that's true, but like, you just took
Yeah.
him as he was. And probably that also created a connection because you just accepted him how he was. And
It
probably
was.
not many people did that, right?
No, no, not in the slightest. And I will be honest, I was, I was a wee bit unsure of him, and but I never felt that, kind of threatened by
Mhm.
by him or anything. I there was so many different. I remember there was one time we went tree planting in the primary school, and he was there. He was there, and then. He, and we had a great experience, planting trees and things. And all these kind of, it's not until you kind of look back in the moment, it's probably, especially when you're that kind of age, you maybe not appreciate
Yeah,
exactly what
yeah,
was unfolding or why it was unfolding,
yeah.
why the universe um, had brought us both together.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's not until now you kind of look back in these circumstances and you go, wow, that was pretty powerful. It was talk about growth. It was growth for me, it was growth for me, and it was growth for him as
Yeah,
well. It was both, and as I say, we've lived our life through our different choices
yeah,
that we've made, but deep down, there was definitely a light in there. There's definitely a
yeah.
light. There is a light in all of us.
It's
It's
exactly every soul carries light. So
yeah.
it's like, yes, yeah.
How much do you how much
I
do you like
actually,
how much do you allow in, right?
yeah, exactly,
Or
exactly.
allow out.
Yeah. And it's a process. It's like peeling off layers and stuff and
Mhm.
to allow more light. Yeah.
Mm.
Um, and I like that you mentioned the soul because actually I wanted to circle back to the topic, the divine, right? And
Mm.
I what you said about the no thing that
Mm.
comes from nothing, the no thing. This is also something that is mentioned in the Sophia Code,
Ah,
um,
right, okay.
which I'm a fan of.
Yes, you're a massive fan. We should do a podcast on that.
Everybody read the book if it resonates with you. So in the Sophia Code, so I grew up in a Roman Catholic village, like most of Austria is Roman Catholic, right?
Right, okay, okay.
And so it's very like, well, I don't know,
Strict.
like I always struggled with like religion, the
Right,
church, even we didn't have like we had religious education at primary school, but
right,
that
okay, okay.
only the Roman Catholic part, right? We didn't learn
Right.
about anything else. And so it was very much like the stories you hear in the Bible and all this stuff. And it just, could never do anything with it. It was
Right.
always weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I could never kind of connect with like God the Father figure. It was
Right.
like so out there for me. It was like, I have no idea what people are talking about. This just doesn't seem right. And it's very interesting because I just thought, well, like I rejected it at a very early age,
Mm.
intuitively.
Yeah.
And so I actually turned into, I wouldn't say an atheist, but I was always like, well, what are you talking about? Like, I don't believe God exists
Yeah.
and all that stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, and I only make that connection now, at the same time, I had deeply spiritual experiences as a kid where I felt source, the
Mm.
universe. I just couldn't do with that father, God the Father, eh, well,
Mm.
embodiment. It's not embodiment, but like this created figure from the church.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
can't, and I still can't. And that's very
Mm.
interesting. And I've tried. I've tried because there's
Right.
like people teaching about it. It's like, well, but you can also call it source. Like, yeah, I can. I can do something with source. I feel connected to that.
Yeah.
And then I read the Sophia Code, and it was the first time in my life somebody referred to the creator, not actually as the creator, but the creatrix, mother of all life.
Mm.
And it just hit me. It was like, whoa. Like I still
Mm.
get goosebumps
Wow.
because that sounded so true to me.
Mm.
And so I do realize source, I just call it source now because I feel
Gosh,
like
yeah.
is obviously a perfect combination and harmony of both the masculine and the feminine energies. Like
Yeah.
it's perfect. And I also realize that some people just focus on the masculine and some on the feminine. But the thing with the Sophia Code, and I realize it's focusing on that feminine part, more. Um, but the thing, so they also, what it also says is about where our souls come from. And
Mm.
it's coming from, so they call her the Sophia, right?
Right.
The Sophia, the creatrix mother of all life. And our souls come from her, I think they say holy womb, or like her womb, her black
Right.
womb of
Right.
no thing. And it's written exactly like that. It's like no thing. It's not nothing. It's like no hyphen
No thing.
thing.
That's how it's written in the passage I was reading out. That's how it's written as well.
Yeah, it's no, exactly. And so when you said that part, I got goosebumps everywhere.
Goosebumps.
And it's also very interesting because in my meditations, I connected with source, like as a being,
Being.
2 times by myself. And it was very interesting because what I actually saw was it was not unsimilar to like Shiva or like how those Hindu gods are
Right. Okay.
like very, fine facial features and bluish, like it
Right.
kind of like this plasma light.
Right.
It's like so, and I could feel like the love. Oh my God. It's just like it's unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Mm.
And so I had that experience 2 times.
I'll get the goosebumps just for talking about it. I'll get goosebumps.
Like
Brilliant.
and in my meditations. And then later, when I connected with my spirit guides, I have one spirit guide who is very, well, he's a Nagual, and I'm not going into that because that's a whole other topic, but
Right. Okay.
he's very connected. There's like, he's kind of like a shaman, but very much like
Right.
in the universe. And then like he's not bound to Earth in a way. He's like he's working with spirits in the universe and stuff.
Right.
It's
Okay.
like a
Okay.
very, as they say, like he's a shaman of spirit, right?
Okay.
And so he took me to the crate, and this time I saw her as a mother, and I kept crying. And it was, and it's just again, it was like so much love. It's just like this ocean of love, except the ocean is bigger than the universe. That's how it feels. And there's no, like, they say it's unconditional love, and it's true, but I think it doesn't even start to grasp it. That's how much love it is.
Much love.
It's just limitless. And she took me in her arms and held me to her heart. And it was like such a beautiful and deep experience. And so basically where I'm going with that, if you are struggling to connect with kind of God the Father, try to connect with the Divine Mother, the feminine side of it. Because for me, it's like the mother is where we come from. Like every child is born from a mother. The love, unconditional love, is what I associate with mother. Not that fathers can't have it, but it's different with a mother. It's a completely different love. And that's the love I felt from that energy.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so for me, it's much easier and feels much more natural to connect to that feminine part of that energy. And I'm not like, again, I know it's a perfect combination of both masculine and feminine energies. And maybe at a different stage in my life, I will need more of like connect with the masculine energy, right?
Right. Okay.
But it just hearing like the Sophia code opened it up for me, because it's the first time somebody gave me even the option. It's like, look, like it's not a
Yeah.
masculine energy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's not masculine energy. Yeah.
yeah.
It's interesting because I certainly not realize now that that's been my soul's purpose. It was interesting because I was listening to a workshop yesterday, and as a guy named Kyle Gray, and he's in Scotland. He's a spiritual teacher. It's very much connected to the angels. He works with the angels a lot, you know. And his topic of conversation yesterday was divine purpose, right? Which I thought, oh, this is quite interesting. That's come up at this time because certainly from my own journey at the minute as well, and for the this our podcast as well. And he was talking about how sometimes in spirituality we can kind of get mixed up with our purpose and our calling, you know, our vocation, vocation, right? And to summarize in a way is saying that it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be a fireman and still be a person of love and light.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can be someone that you know that delivers a post and be someone that's you know puts a shine on everybody's day by saying good morning or
Yeah. And like
it's
even
or
as a
you could be that post
soldier,
manager
I
or
think.
post lady that puts her head down and doesn't speak.
Yeah.
So it's what so whatever we're doing in life, it's just a kind of a role that we're playing, right,
Mm-hmm.
in this incarnation. But our true purpose, our true reason for being here is to learn all about love, really.
Yeah.
It is
It makes
that
so much sense.
that's essentially it. It's not to work 9 to 5 and then get have a have a pension and and then and retire at 65, 68, whatever the retirement age is. That's just a role that
Yeah.
we
I mean,
that's
you might still need a pension to be able to live.
well exactly, yeah. I mean
It's like how you do it. Like,
it's how you do it. Yes,
yeah.
exactly. It's
And
and we talked about being in line with our values, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can all generate money in various different ways, but if we're out of alignment with what's true to our
Yeah.
heart,
Yeah.
yeah, it's you know there's lessons there's more lessons to be learned through
Yeah.
that.
And
You know?
even I just want to bring that in because I feel like it's important because, we might feel, well, but what if I do this job or this job? Like, for
Yeah,
example, being a soldier, I think can still be, because obviously it's your job, sometimes depending on what your role
yeah,
is and stuff, but to kill people, right? But I think it still depends on with what energy, in what frequency you
mm,
carry out that role. Like, do you do it from a place of hate and, oh, we have to defeat those, or do you do it from a
yeah.
place of protection, for example? Like, it's a
Oh,
massive difference.
yeah.
So even,
Well, justice is one of one of the key building blocks of of the universe, right? Of us all justice. And
yeah,
in many ways, being a soldier, like you say, could be bringing,
yeah,
we'll be bringing justice to the world by by doing the things that they need to do, eliminating this, that, and the next thing.
yeah. I mean, I always find it very, for me, justice is a tricky one because
Mm,
who am I to say what's just and what not?
mm.
but I do know as long as I act from a frequency of love, like that's the best I can do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess what I'm saying, but just it's standing up against evil.
Injustice.
And
Yeah, injustice in terms of like it's true. Like we all have a sense of what is right and what is not right. Like,
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, there's certain characters, and they're not too far away. Don't want to get too much involved in various different things that have happened over the years, but there's
Mm.
certain characters that we're all aware of in history, that have projected certain things into the world, and there has the justice, the soldiers, the role that these soldiers had to play, these souls had to play, in order to carry out, to rebalance that energy. They had to fulfill a role in killing people,
Mm.
in order to bring a rebalance to the world, really, and to our own existence, because otherwise we would all be we could be all having a different conversation
Yeah,
conversation right now,
yeah,
or in a different place in a different time.
yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of sacrifice there. I mean, there's a lot of sacrifice these guys, and ladies,
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
do, and it's yeah, as you say, it's
And you hear stories from both. Like you hear
yeah,
stories from soldiers who take advantage of their role in terms of like, they become rapists or like,
yeah,
really. And
yeah,
then you hear stories of soldiers who actually rescue people. And like again, you have the scale and it's your choice where you put yourself on that sliding scale.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So we're going to finish up just very briefly with what I just kind of started saying.
Mm-hmm. Oh
The work.
yeah.
Yeah,
We did.
just we kind of. But I do love it. I do
That was
love
a
it in
big
our
tangent.
conversation. We just kind of go off, don't we? We just kind of go. Oh, that sounds like a good path. There we go. Away down the path. Um, but yeah, it's good to kind of bring a bit, because some of the things I'm talking about, it's good to bring those real life back to real life experiences, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
to bring
agree.
these kind of real
Yeah.
life examples. Right, so going back to so where we were with the 22 numbers in the Hebrew alphabet. So we've got we've got three mother letters, and each linked to an element that we're all familiar with. So Aleph is air, Mem water, Shin is fire. Then we've got, as I said, the seven double letters, which that's the bit we finished that. So I always find it quite it's interesting because we all are aware of the 7 days in 1 week, right?
Hmm.
As well. So there's the 7 days, and there's also seven planets. There's in the constant
And
in
solar
the
system.
universe, in the solar system. Yeah, and then there's seven planets. Um, and then like, to make up the 22, we've got 22 single letters. And then it's interesting again. We've got the 12 months of the year as well, which is quite interesting. Um,
Where
so
does the element of earth come in?
so
It's
yeah,
not mentioned, is it? Because
air.
there's more than three
Well,
elements, right?
there's three elements. Yeah, there's the element Earth as well. Yeah, that's maybe for another podcast.
I'm just curious, like.
But that's certainly is the three double letters of air. Sorry, three mother letters: air, aleph, mem, water, shin, fire.
Hmm.
So yeah, and this is, and I just love how these kind of things just they all intertwine with themselves. So going back to the number three. So from a microcosmic point of view, from a man, I mean like human point of view. I don't mean male, female. I mean us,
Hmm.
embodied in a human body. Um, we you can split it kind of splits us up into three areas. We've got our head, which is the fire element, the breast and the organs, which is the air element, and the body, which is the
Yeah.
water element, right? And and here's the 3, 7, 12. So man has seven orifices of the head, two nostrils, two eyes, two ears, and a
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's the seven orifices, and then within our body we have 12 organs.
Oh,
Heart, yeah, heart, brain, lungs. I confirmed this with a well-known a nurse last night. Just- so we've got our heart, our brain, lungs, our liver, kidneys, spleen, stomach, gallbladder, pancreas, skin, small intestine, and large intestine.
interesting.
So the patterns of 3, 7, and 12, they don't. I think we've heard of the phrase of as within, so without.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as within man, 3, 7, and 12. So without. We're talking about the elements, the planets, the kind of the planetary constitution, the solar systems,
Yeah.
various different things.
It's that's my like what
We're
I
all connected. We're all
observe.
connected.
Sorry?
We're all connected.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I observe. And it's the same like with the Fibonacci
Oh, I love Kabbalah.
spiral and the
Yeah.
golden ratio. It's like those things show up everywhere over and over and over. And it's the
Oh yeah.
same with certain numbers like the threes and the sevens and the 12s.
Yes.
And it's just a sign that there is some universal intelligence system behind it all. Like
Hmm.
when you just look at it and you see all those things popping up everywhere, or when you look at like microscopic things that all of a sudden look like a galaxy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's so fascinating. Or like the walnut looks like a brain. And it's like you have all those things popping up everywhere, literally everywhere you look.
Everywhere we look, yeah.
It's everywhere. And it's just like, yeah, for me, it's like, well, if that's not like
A
kind
sign.
of a divine design, how we are all
Yeah,
designed, because we are designed and created in this world, right? With those building blocks. Like, what
yeah.
else is it? It can't be coincidence for me. Like,
Well,
coincidence would be the more unlikely explanation for me, right?
well, that's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing I've come to realize is that there is. It just. I think you kind of get that over that that period of being amazed, and then things just it just naturally starts become
Hmm.
things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course
Yeah.
this
Yes.
of course
Yes.
this. You know,
Yeah. Why
like
wouldn't
I
it be
said,
any other way?
yeah, I mean, there's no talked about no coincidence. There's no coincidence that we can split the human body into three different elements,
Hmm.
you have three different sections. There's no coincidence that we've got seven orifices round about the head.
Yeah.
There's no coincidence that we've got 12 organs.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no coincidence, and it's all there to say we are very much connected to the divine, right? We're very
Yeah.
much connected, and however you want to define the divine, there's just no getting away from the fact that we are.
Yeah.
The-
I
the-
mean,
the- the-
it's literally in us. Otherwise, we couldn't exist, right?
right,
Those
exactly.
we're made of those divine building blocks. Our soul is literally an expression, a unique
Mm,
expression of the divine, like,
yeah,
right? So it's like, yeah, you that's who you are. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was just interesting. It's just a couple of things that kind of popped up over the weekend, just after we started talking about the topic of the divine, because it's, as I said, it can be such a vast and such a, yeah, I say no, it's not controversial at all. Um, it's just yeah, it's just such a vast topic that we can go into. We talk about like divine purpose and like our divine intervention and divine timing, and
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
use all these phrases. We're
Yeah.
familiar with all these phrases, but somehow, in some level, we believe that things just happen, or things just happen to us. But I guess the kind of message for me is that, and we talked about being the two energies, the masculine and the feminine, right? So with the feminine being the love element. Well, in order to put that love into action, we need the masculine energy.
Yeah, we need a structure and stuff.
We
Yeah,
need a structure. We
absolutely.
need a
Yeah.
structure, right?
Mhm.
And this is what we build. We build here in our material world. We build structures. That's what the masculine energy
Yeah.
is for
Yeah.
structures.
I think I have a theory actually.
Oh,
Here.
lovely. Lovely.
So, ascension, the
Yes.
ascension process. So for me, I'm just gonna throw it out there what this means for me, and because
Mm,
it's very much connected to that. So for me, ascension is really, so basically our souls want to essentially become more like the creator, right? Like that's
mm.
also like the purpose in our life is like to become more like the creator, like
Great.
source. And so for me, like actually embodying in harmony both our masculine and feminine energies and like combining them, having them work together in harmony, that's for me is actually a huge part of ascension.
Mm,
And so it's actually very interesting because obviously source hasn't got a gender, right?
no.
You couldn't say
Mm,
you can connect to like the feminine energy or the masculine energy of it, but it's complete, it's whole, it's perfect as it is, and it hasn't got a gender. And what's also very interesting, it's maybe a topic for another day, but also angels don't have a gender.
mm.
Angels are a perfect embodiment of both the masculine and the feminine energies. And so I really think for our own ascension, for our spiritual journey, that's actually one of the big topics for us to learn and overcome is to embody both our masculine and feminine energy in harmony.
Do you find it fascinating? I've this is something that has popped up in my head, and since I've kind of went down, it would be more. I've went more into more in depth in my spiritual studies and my spiritual awareness is how God has always been him, right?
Well, not
Jesus.
always, Graham, not always. It depends how far you go back.
Well, yeah,
Because very, very old cultures, it would have been a she.
it would have been she. In terms of like the Christian,
Yeah.
which we both have probably experienced.
Yeah,
We'll
what
talk
we've
about it.
been
I guess from
indoctrinated with.
yeah, it's always been a kind of him. So
Yeah,
refer to it as a him, right?
yeah.
And it's always fascinating as a him. And then obviously Jesus was Yeshua was male, and the angels we draw the angels, and the angels are quite often male figures as well,
Being
and
well, let's say being depicted as male
well,
figures.
that's the thing, isn't it? It's like I've always wondered, is it just in somebody's interpretation somewhere along the line that has to be this male? Why did it have to be male? Is it because is it there's something to do with the power?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
the-
about power, it's about patriarchy, it's about erasing the divine feminine because that divine feminine was perceived as a threat for masculine power in terms of not like the divine masculine, because the divine masculine works in harmony with the divine feminine. It's not a threat to that at all. It's here to protect the divine feminine. But there was this shift when the earth went to like a patriarchal system because it was matriarchal first, right?
right.
And there was a whole thing. I mean, Yeshua, Jesus, didn't talk about God as the Father.
Mm.
It was translated that way.
Well, that's the thing. Aye.
Yeah, he talked about
Yes.
source.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
he actually taught about source and manifestation, really,
Mm.
when you go to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
But it's been all skewed to give more power to the patriarchal systems and to erase the divine feminine. And also when you say, oh, but Jesus, Yeshua was a male, but well, he had a female counterpart, Mary Magdalene, which was also, her story was completely scoot and like, I mean, she was such a powerful healer. She was an ascended master. She
Well,
did healings next to him. Like they were equals.
well,
And
I was just going to say
look what the church made of her.
she was she was
It's
she was
an
she was she was
atrocity.
she kind of awoken Yeshua to his it was her that kind of awoken his powers.
It is, oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. She awoken his powers.
yeah.
And I've read somewhere quite often that she was more powerful.
Yeah,
That
I
that
mean, I don't know if I wouldn't compare them. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I
and in
don't
the
know
beginning,
a
I
lot on
think
the subject.
yeah,
Like for me, and from what I've read and heard and experienced as well, because I have also connected with Mary Magdalene, right? And with Jesus, with
yeah,
Yeshua,
sure.
like on the same level.
Same level.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know,
With a
and
perfect
we
balance of energy.
know, I mean, there is a lot of evidence. We know that the Bible has been censored,
Hmm.
right? We
Hmm.
know that lots of stuff has been misinterpreted, translated wrong. But there was a whole, was it Emperor Constantine from the Roman Empire or something? I don't know, one of the emperors, like
Right.
just chose and pick a few, like the parts that would support him and his power. Like basically that's it's been completely butchered over the last 2000 years.
Well, it was the way I kind of summarize it has been is again I come back to this thing of power, right?
Yeah,
It was taking away the power from the very thing that, as you said, that Yeshua talked about was the power within us, right?
yeah,
Power within us, and that
yeah.
that it was very clear about that, and it was very he was very humble with that as
Hmm.
well.
Hmm.
Very, very humble. The thing that kind of sticks out for me is that where he washes the feet of his disciples, and they called him teacher, the master and teacher and
Yeah,
everything like that. But he washed their feet, to
yeah,
say,
yeah. It's like I'm not
like,
better than you. I'm
no,
just like
no,
we're all on the same
we're
journey.
all the same. We're
Yeah,
all made of the same thing.
yeah.
It's just
And
that
he said,
he's
like,
been blessed to be aware, to be made more aware, to allow other people to see that he,
yeah.
what we all truly are,
And
right?
he literally said, you don't need temples. Your temple is within. This is how you connect with source. And what did the church do? They built churches like everywhere. They did like his teachings, like you cannot go, like that's just my personal experience, and I don't want to offend anybody who is like a
Yeah,
practicing Catholic or like, but
yeah.
in my experience, you cannot really go to the church, like to really connect with the true essence of source,
Mhm.
because it's not.
Yeah.
It's just a completely misconstrued
It's interesting going because
thing.
it might now going into churches, and there's a church in Edinburgh that I've been in a couple of times. And it's St Giles Cathedral in the Royal Mile, and the energy in there is extremely high. Like
Yes,
the energy is built upon. It is
that's the
extremely
thing. They
the
use
vibration is incredible.
Yeah, but because they use those old druid sites, like the druids knew
Mhm.
about the ley lines and how the energy lines work in the earth. They felt the high vibrational places and stuff. And churches were built on those places. It's not the church, it's the place it's built
It's the
on.
energy of it's quite
Yeah.
it's come from deep within.
Yeah, and I experienced both because there's a lot of like old churches in Austria and like I've been in lots of churches in my life. And sometimes like it's incredible energy, but again,
Mm.
it's the space they build on. And sometimes it's just not. Sometimes it's just like meh.
It can be quite the opposite actually. Sometimes with some of the energies
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, depends. Yeah.
but yeah, it's I find it.
Well, I think that's a whole topic for another.
It is, isn't it? Aye, that's a different podcast altogether. But yeah, that's my 10 cents worth of on the divine. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover?
I think we've probably covered enough for today. We might do a part 2, or at least definitely a part that's related to it, I'm sure. Like,
Yeah.
that's more. We've been going for an hour, I think, roughly. So
Okay.
it might be a good time to end it here and then just do another one.
Let's do that. Let's do that. Thank you again, Iris.
Thank
Lovely
you.
talking to you.
And thanks for everybody listening in. I know this was a bit of a different one today, but yeah, I would love to hear what you guys got from it. And yeah, let us know
Yeah.
in the comments. Or you can also like send a DM or like reach out to us, right? Like if you don't want to talk about it publicly, it's very personal for everybody. So,
Well, that's
but
the thing.
yeah, we'd love to hear.
Love it. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, as you say, just thank you. Thank you to everybody for taking the time to listen.
Absolutely. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.